Baking when you need comfort. There are moments in life that feel like a sudden, unexpected downpour on a day you've forgotten your umbrella. Moments when the world seems to have turned its volume down, leaving you in a quiet, muffled space where your own thoughts echo a little too loudly. It might be the sting of a disappointment, the ache of a loss, or simply the weight of a long, weary week pressing down on your shoulders. In these times, we all search for an anchor, a small, tangible act that can ground us back into the present moment and offer a gentle, unspoken solace. For some, it's a long walk in nature. For others, it's the embrace of a loved one. And for many, myself included, it is the quiet, rhythmic ritual of baking. It's more than just mixing flour and sugar. It's a form of therapy, a way to knead away the anxieties and watch something beautiful and warm rise from the chaos. Baking, in its purest form, is a conversation with yourself. It's an act of creation that asks for nothing but your presence and patience. And in return, it fills your home with the most profound, soul-soothing aromas, and offers a sweet, tangible reward for your efforts. The process begins, not in the kitchen, but in the mind. It starts with a feeling, a yearning for something specific. Perhaps it's the comforting nostalgia of a classic chocolate chip cookie. It sent a direct line to childhood afternoons spent with your grandmother. Or maybe it's the rich, decadent allure of a fudgy brownie, its dark, intense flavor, a perfect counterpoint to a feeling of emptiness. The choice of what to bake is an intuitive one, guided by the heart's specific need for comfort. Today, for me, it's the gentle promise of a simple vanilla loaf cake. It isn't flashy or complex. It doesn't demand intricate techniques or exotic ingredients. It's honest, humble, and deeply reassuring. Its beauty lies in its simplicity, in the familiar harmony of butter, sugar, eggs, and vanilla. It's a recipe that feels like a soft, woolen blanket, promising warmth and security. The decision is made, and with it comes a sense of purpose. A gentle pull towards the kitchen, away from the swirling thoughts and into a world of measurement and method. The first step is gathering the ingredients, a process that is, in itself, a form of meditation. I pulled a bag of all-purpose flour from the pantry, its weight substantial and real in my hands. I measure it out, leveling the cup with the back of a knife, a small act of precision that brings a quiet focus. There's the granulated sugar, its crystals sparkling under the kitchen lights, a promise of sweetness to come. The unsalted butter, cold and firm from the refrigerator, is unwrapped, its pale yellow hue a symbol of richness and flavor. I crack the eggs against the side of a bowl, the sharp tap and a gentle split, watching the golden yolks swim in the translucent whites. Each ingredient is a character in the story, each with its own role to play. And of course, the vanilla extract, its dark, fragrant essence, the very soul of the cake. The aroma that escapes the bottle as I measure it out is the first real whisper of comfort. A scent that is both calming and uplifting, a preview of the deliciousness to come. With all the components assembled, the real alchemy begins. The creaming of the butter and sugar is where the magic starts. Into the bowl of my stand mixer they go, and, with the flick of a switch, the paddle attachment begins to turn. At first, the mixture is crumbly and separate, the butter and sugar are still strangers, but as the mixer whirs, they begin to come together. I watch, mesmerized, as they transform from a coarse, sandy texture into a light, fluffy, and paleo cloud. This transformation is a lesson in patience. It cannot be rushed. It's in these few minutes of watching, of listening to the steady hum of the motor, that the mind begins to settle. The worries of the day start to fade into the background, replaced by the simple, satisfying task at hand. The world outside the kitchen, with all its demands and complexities, ceases to exist. There is only the bowl, the ingredients, and the gentle, repetitive motion of the mixer. Next, the eggs are added, one at a time. This, too, is a lesson in patience and care. Adding them all at once would overwhelm the delicate emulsion, causing it to break. But by adding them one by one, allowing each to be fully incorporated before the next is introduced, the mixture becomes even smoother, richer, and more voluminous. It's a reminder that sometimes, The best way to handle overwhelming things is to break them down into smaller, manageable parts. You don't have to solve everything at once. You just have to handle the one thing in front of you, and then the next, and the next, and the next. With the final egg incorporated, the vanilla extract is drizzled in, its fragrance immediately blooming and mingling with the sweet, buttery aroma of the batter. The scent is now more pronounced, more complex, a symphony of simple, beautiful notes that fill the air with a sense of well-being. The final stage of mixing involves the dry ingredients. The flour, baking powder, and a pinch of salt have been whisked together in a separate bowl, a cloud of soft, white powder. I alternate adding the dry ingredients and the milk, beginning and ending with the flour. This method ensures a tender, delicate crumb. With each addition, I mix only until the ingredients are just combined. Overmixing is the enemy of a tender cake, a reminder that sometimes less is more. Too much agitation, too much worrying, can lead to toughness. It's better to be gentle, to trust the process, and to know when to stop. The final batter is smooth, thick, and pale, a beautiful, blank canvas ready to be transformed by the heat of the oven. I scrape down the sides of the bowl one last time with a spatula, folding the batter over on itself, ensuring everything is incorporated, a final, gentle gesture of care. The batter is poured into a prepared loaf pan. The parchment paper sling a promise of an easy release. I smooth the top with the back of a spoon, a final act of shaping and intention before it begins its journey. Sliding the pan into the preheated oven feels like a sacred act. It's a moment of surrender, of trusting in the unseen forces of heat and time. The oven door closes with a soft click, and now, all I can do is wait. The waiting is not idle. It's an active, sensory experience. The kitchen, which was filled with the sounds of mixing and measuring, now falls into a contemplative silence, broken only by the quiet hum of the oven fan. For the first 20 minutes, there is little change, but then, it begins. A faint, buttery scent starts to snake its way out of the oven, a delicate whisper of what's to come. As time marches on, the aroma intensifies, growing from a whisper to a full-throated song. It's the smell of caramelizing sugar, of browning butter, of vanilla blooming in the heat. It's a scent that is universally comforting, a primal signal to our brains that all is well, that nourishment and pleasure are on their way. This aroma is a physical presence in the room. It fills every corner, clinging to the curtains, settling on the countertops, wrapping around you like a warm embrace. It's a scent that chases away the shadows, that replaces anxiety with anticipation. I find myself breathing more deeply, my shoulders relaxing, a smile tugging at the corners of my mouth. This is the aromatherapy of baking, a potent, natural remedy for a troubled soul. The house, which may have felt empty or somber before, is now filled with a sense of life, of warmth, of home. The timer chimes, its cheerful sound pulling me from my reverie. I open the oven door, and a wave of hot, fragrant air washes over my face. The cake has risen beautifully, its top a glorious, golden brown dome with a deep crack running down the center, a sign of a perfect bake. I insert a wooden skewer into the middle, and it comes out clean, a confirmation that the work is done. The cake is carefully removed from the oven and placed on a wire rack to cool. The transformation is complete. What began as a simple collection of raw, unassuming ingredients has been turned into something truly special, a golden loaf of pure comfort. The process of creation, from gathering to mixing to baking, has been a journey. It has been a way to channel nervous energy into a productive, creative act. It has been a meditation, a way to focus the mind and soothe the spirit. After a few minutes, I lift the cake from the pan using the parchment paper sling and let it cool completely on the rack. The final wait is perhaps the most difficult, but it's crucial. Slicing into a warm cake can cause it to crumble, a final lesson in the virtue of patience. As it cools, the aroma, though slightly less intense, still lingers, a gentle, comforting presence. Finally, the moment arrives. The cake is cool to the touch. I place it on a cutting board and, with a serrated knife, cut the first slice. The knife glides through the tender crumb, revealing a soft, pale interior flecked with tiny vanilla seeds. The slice is perfect. I place it on a plate, perhaps with a dollop of cream or a dusting of powdered sugar, but today, it needs no adornment. It is perfect as it is. The first bite is a revelation. The texture is soft, moist, and tender. The flavor is a delicate balance of sweet, buttery richness and the warm, floral notes of vanilla. It's simple, yes, but its simplicity is its strength. It's a flavor that doesn't shout, but whispers. It's a taste that feels like a hug from the inside. With each bite, I can feel the tension in my shoulders easing, the knot in my stomach loosening. This isn't just eating, it's an act of self-care, of self-compassion. It's a way of saying to myself, it's okay. You're okay. Here is something good and warm and sweet. You made this, you deserve this. In that moment, the problems of the world don't disappear, but they seem smaller, more manageable. The cake is a tangible reminder that even when things feel chaotic and out of control, it is still possible to create something good, something beautiful, something whole. This is the power of baking for comfort. It's a ritual that engages all the senses. The feel of the ingredients, the sound of the mixer, the sight of the transformation, the smell of the baking, and finally, the taste of the finished product. It's a process that grounds you in the present, pulling you away from the worries of the past and the anxieties of the future. It's a creative outlet that allows you to turn feelings of helplessness into an act of creation. It's a way to nourish not just your body, but your soul. So the next time you find yourself feeling lost, or sad, or overwhelmed, I invite you to turn to your kitchen. Find a simple recipe, one that speaks to your heart. Gather your ingredients, and begin the slow, rhythmic dance of baking. Allow yourself to get lost in the process. And when you pull that warm, fragrant creation from the oven, know that you have done more than just bake a cake or a batch of cookies. You have performed a small act of magic. You have created a moment of peace. You have baked yourself a little bit of comfort, and sometimes, that's all you really need. Baking when you need comfort.